connect with a moment or the part of us that might be sad or grieving. There are many things that can make us sad. What is it that is making us sad in this moment? Pause the video if you need further time. I'm sorry that you are feeling sad in this moment. Many times in our lives we will feel sad. And we can justify with so many different reasons. But in essence comes to a hurt, a loss. We can feel sad when we realize that what once was love just turned into hate. That realization that how did we move from love to hate? How did we move from I love you and I look forward to being with you to simply just hating? And the sadness of that illusion, that dream that we wanted, either as a thing or person, that either is lost or never materialized, and it was only part of our wish, but it never turned out to be what we wanted. There must still be love, but we forget to love and we only focus on the negatives. We can feel sad when we feel lonely and isolated. Now I'm going to go with the I. I feel sad when. This way is easy to connect. And then you can think of those as I feel sad with that example or a different example. So we help process the emotion. We feel it. The body processes it. Then we decide what to do with it. But often it's just acceptance and time. I feel sad when I feel lonely and isolated and disconnected from people that are meaningful to me, or that I perceive as being meaningful to me. I feel sad when I feel that I'm not included on something that would be good for me, or that I would have an expectation of inclusion. I feel sad when I'm not cared for, when I feel uncared for, unloved. I feel sad when I can't look in a mirror and say I love myself. I feel sad when I feel rejected by someone that is meaningful to me. I feel sad when I spend a lot of time and effort try to find solutions, and I can't get the other party to come on board and see the benefits of the solutions, and we keep on having the same problem. I feel sad when I know that someone will not be part of my physical life. Because of time and age or circumstances. And I have only excuses that to visit, to spend time, to be with. And I just know that sooner or later they will no longer be part of my physical life. And I know they will regret, and I still don't see them, because seeing them means there are other things that I have to face. And I stressful. Because of a temporary stressful discomfort, I don't get to see those people that are very important to me. And I know that one day they will not be there. And I'm taking their existence for granted. And I know that I will look back with regret for not being there when I had the chance. What else do you feel sad about? Sometimes we can feel sad for the life we're not living. I feel sad when I'm not engaging in the behaviors that I want to engage. Living the life that I could be living, but I'm not. I feel sad when I'm not managing to look after myself the way that I want to or would prefer. I feel sad when I say something that I later regret, that has a negative impact on someone else's, that is meaningful to me. I feel sad for the losses of opportunities, of connection and positivity and goodness that I could have had instead of the wasted time arguing and in conflict. There are also instances where we feel extra sad, especially when we are struggling with low mood and depression. We are more likely to feel more vulnerable. And connected with sadness, even cry more often. Sometimes we don't feel, sometimes we're not in low mood or depression, but you can still feel sad because we're perceiving a loss, a hurt. Our heart is hurting. And sometimes we can feel sad because someone else might be engaging in an experience that we want to be part of it, but we don't have the courage to say, because you might feel that they will only include us because we've asked, and we don't want them to include us because we've asked, but because they want to include us. We want to be included because they want to be with us, rather than the feeling guilty for not including us, rather than them only asking because we've told them or told them that makes us sad. So we might feel sad that we want to communicate that, but we have the conflict between I really want to be where you want me to be. I want the initiative to come from you because you want to be with me. Not because I've asked, but because that's what you want. Not because out of guilt, but that's because what you want. And we can feel sad because of the meaning that we give to those instances where we feel rejected or not included. What meaning do we give? we make it mean that we are uncared for, that we are unlovable, that we are faulty in some way and not interesting. And then we feel further hurt and further sad. Is there any more hurts in your heart right now? It feels sad when we lose someone physically, and we're never going to see them again. And even when there's an anniversary coming up, or a special occasion, or major celebration, that reminds us that that person is no longer in our life. And we can grieve that loss with sadness. I feel sad when I'm not managing my basic. I feel sad when I was hoping for a positive response or cooperation, and it doesn't happen. And then when I look at what does this mean about him, and I have the realization that perhaps things are not as good as I wish them to be. They're not as solid as I thought they were. They're not as meaningful. I feel sad when I expect to be the number one for someone or priority, and then I'm not. Last one on the list. So, what are we going to do with all this? Pause the video if you need more time, and then process the sadness. If you need to cry, have a little cry. And then we hydrate. Take deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let's accept the sadness, things as they are in this moment. They're not as we would prefer. They are as they are. We hold on to this dream, perfection, goal, wish, and then we actually realize that it's not there at all. or nowhere near that. It's not what we want, it's not what we wish, it's not what we work towards. And you have to go into that radical acceptance of things and feelings as they are in this moment. I feel rejected. It is what it is. I feel sad. It is what it is. I feel like I'm not a priority. It is what it is. I feel excluded. It is what it is. I'm not managing myself in this moment. It is what it is. I'm not visiting and spending time with those people that are important to me, and I won't be there forever. In this moment, it is what it is. I don't have the relationship as I wish and prefer and try to work for. It is what it is in this moment. Now, what can we do to improve the next moment? Just take a slow, deep breath into the belly. Breathe in. And slowly out. We can make a decision now. We can either continue harboring the resentment or accept, and we can even choose to forgive. Sometimes we'll hold on to not forgiving because we don't want to forget, but forgiving is not forgetting. We'll still remember, and even if our memory fails, the nervous system will still remember. It's a live registration. However, we can choose to either continue to stew and ruminate negatively on the losses and the wrongs, or we can choose to use our energy in a different direction of compassion, being compassionate to our hurts and sadness. Breathe in compassion and love. Breathe out slowly and gently. We can also use our energy to give ourselves some loving and healing energy. Breathe in some more loving and healing energy. Breathe out. Let's recognize that we are humans. All humans suffer and struggle at times with the same emotions, similar circumstances. So with this, nothing wrong with us. We're not faulty and defective because we feel sad. It just means we are in touch with our emotions. And we recognize what is important to us, what we prefer, what we wish. And also we can make peace with what is. breathe out. We can choose to continue ruminating on the wrongs, or choose to let go of the energy of resentment and sad and hurt, and deciding what we want to do with it for each given situation. Do we want to live as it is? Or do we want to communicate our preferences assertively to the person in question? Can we behave differently so that we have different experience? Can we find solutions for those things that are very important to us? Can we find solutions for the things that get on the way, so that we can be with the people that are meaningful to us before they no longer are in this life? Can we find a different way of being with those people? If you can't be physically, can we call? At least it is a solution and some sort of contact. Breathe in. Breathe out. Can we also love ourselves a little more? And don't reject ourselves. Breathe in. Breathe out. I choose to include myself. Breathe in. Breathe out. I choose to accept myself, including my negative traits, and make peace with my negative behaviors and my negative attributes. Breathe in. Breathe out. I'm more than just one behavior, positive or negative. Breathe in. Breathe out. I may not be perfect, but I am good enough. Breathe in. Breathe out. If others choose to not see our value and worth, or wanting to be with us, that's okay. It's a choice they're making in the moment. And they are free spirits to make that choice, because they might have different values, needs, interests, and that's okay. We can accept that, but also know our worth and value and goodness, and know that we can be with ourselves. Breathe in. Breathe out. We also can choose to see that there are others that are looking exactly for what we have to offer. Someone else's rubbish is someone else's treasure. So that it's people out there that want exactly what we have to offer, the way we are. And there are things we take for granted. That is of value for someone else's. We're not exchanging ourselves. We're not giving ourselves. We're not selling ourselves. But when we don't see our value, there are things within us that others do appreciate, and the same for others. There are things in others that we do appreciate, and they take it for granted. They don't even know. Except for when we are in conflict. When we are in conflict, they only see the worst of ourselves and others in the situation. Or if we're struggling with a low mood and depression, we're more likely to only see the negative side of things. Of self, others, and circumstances. That all humans have good, neutral, and bad. So that we can work towards improving, manage, and cope with the bad the best possible way. We can do that for ourselves and others. And I'm doing a video now. Thank you. And we can also look for the good. Breathe in. Breathe out. We can look for the good in ourselves, in others, in the circumstances. We can look for the positives. We can look for the silver lining. We can look at things with different eyes. With the eyes of acceptance and compassion. Love. Recognizing our worth. Breathe in. Breathe out. I have worth. I have value. Breathe in. Breathe out. And we can recognize that we are good enough. Breathe in. I am good enough. Breathe in. Breathe out. I am lovable enough. Breathe in. Breathe out. I am beautiful enough. Breathe in. Breathe in. That can be a hard one to say when you don't feel so good. Breathe in. Breathe out. I have worth. I have value. Breathe in. Breathe out. We can accept someone else's choices and we can communicate. Oh, happy for you that you have a chance to do that. That sounds like cool or interesting or fun. Oh, it'd be lovely to be part of it. If there's a chance, let me know. Only if you want to. Because we would love to. That could be one way of asking. Another way could be, we noticed that recently we're just spending too much time in conflict, and I'd love us to go back to recognizing our worth and value and appreciating each other. How can we go about it? What can we do so that we can do more bonding and get closer to each other's hearts? What can we drop? What can we do instead so we can be grateful for each other, appreciate each other, at least, and respect each other more? And if we can, love each other more. what can we do differently so that we can increase our openness and dialogue and see things from another perspective. So we go from that fight into cooperation. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then with ourselves, how can we be a bit more compassionate? And instead of beating ourselves up, just support and encourage. It's okay, just being tough. It's a hard day or a hard couple of days or a hard month. The circumstances are stressful and it's natural and common to struggle in these circumstances. And most people struggle, so I'm not alone. Just going to do the best we can without losing sight of the good, so we can keep it into perspective and balance. And then learn when to drop things, when to accept things, when to remove myself, when to ask for help, when to prioritize and focus on what really is important, instead of obsessively focusing on second agendas, what's more important. And also connect with that flexibility and adaptability. Can we be flexible? Breathe in. Breathe out. And if someone else just doesn't come on board or make it a priority, instead of thinking that we are faulting, there's something wrong with us, is that another reason why perhaps they are choosing? Could I ask? And if it's not appropriate, could I consider other reasons? Is there a chance that the person has something else going on? Different priorities and values? Or is unable in this moment? But this does not mean they don't care for us. Or they're trying to be fair. And they have to be neutral, because there's other people involved, and if they open one exception for one, it could compromise their reputation. So it's not so much about us, but it's about the bigger picture and other people they have to consider. So we don't feel like victims and that we don't have worth and value. But simply there could be other things that we are not considering. And this way we don't feel so bad, so low, so sad. Breathe in. Breathe out. I choose to love myself despite the way I perceive things, the way things are. Even though things are not as I want and prefer, or dreamed, or wished for. Breathe in. Breathe out. So what can I do now? Can I stretch? Can I roll my shoulders? Can I wiggle? Just bring some aliveness into the body. Okay. Can I rotate? Increase some flexibility. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now can I bring a smile to my face for another opportunity, a new beginning, a new way of viewing things, a new way of finding solutions, to looking forward to finding solutions that are more in line with my values, and just accepting, taking life in stride, Yeah, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes things work, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad. It's all part. All part. And then what can we take ourselves? What can we do? Maybe go for a little walk and taking deep breaths and appreciating the world outside so you can feel connected to the world. Say good morning, good afternoon, good night. So we increase our inclusiveness with the world at large. So we feel connected to the ground, the sky, the sun, the flowers, the plants, pets, and other people. The ones we feel comfortable to say hello to. And they are comfortable saying hello back. And in time we can, how can I express myself, my preferences? Could I have the courage and initiative to do something with someone else that is meaningful to me? Can I find the solutions to solve the problems that get on the way and stop me from visiting those that are important and meaningful? And then bit by bit we solve things, we find the solutions, and we accept that sometimes we are the ones also that exclude others, not intentionally, not with the intention of hurting. So sometimes others do the same, and in trusting that when the timing is right, those people that have meaning, then we all meet again. And if it doesn't, then accepting that the journey was only meant to be a certain time, and just staying with the good memories and the lessons that we've learned, and the appreciation for the time that the person or the thing had a place in our life. Where's your smile? Where's your smile? Where's your smile? Don't worry if you don't have a smile right now. It's okay. You'll have one. Promise you. It'll happen. It does come back sooner or later. When we feel better, the smile comes up with more ease. When we have more rest, the smile comes up with more ease. When we keep the stress down and engage in activities that gives us satisfaction and we feel connected with others and ourselves, especially with ourselves, the smile does come back with ease. It's like the weather comes and goes. So the moment, own it. Sometimes when we're sad, we just hide it, and then it comes up as hidden behind sarcasm. Oh, so you did this? Hiding that sadness. Oh, I'm sad you didn't include me. And can even hide behind anger or judgment. Why are you so insensitive? So processing and owning. And you can even feel sad when someone is not sensitive to the way we're feeling in the moment. Because either they don't know, they've got stuff in their plate at the moment. Like when I'm connected, I'm good and sensitive. When I'm disconnected, not so much. You don't want to be in my presence when I'm disconnected. So, and I think it's a little bit the same for everyone. If you're on the fight, flight mode, flight, freeze mode, our brain is looking for our survival. So it's not looking for saving others, being empathetic and compassionate with others, loving others. Okay, so when we are on those, so having realistic expectations, And when we have problems, we're more likely to be on the fight, flight, freeze mode. So our pro-social side is not as active. Okay, so we are not thinking broader solutions. We're not seeing the possibilities and solutions, which is maybe narrowly focusing on one thing because we think, oh, this will help me survive. But then we fail to see the bigger picture. So don't beat yourself up. Love, 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 love. Big hug. That are the videos that you can use if you want to. Don't have to. If you want to awaken your smile, awaken your laughter. If you have something bigger that you need to process, a bigger sadness, then I would encourage you perhaps to speak with a health professional so that you can be fully supported all the way. But if you're managing, just go for a walk, do some exercise, some stretches, take some deep breath in nature, eat some nourishing foods and keep yourself hydrated, keep your sleep, respect your sleep times and quality as much as possible, because that influences the way we feel, and the way we feel influences the way we perceive things, and it's easy to manage our emotions. And then, if you're able to get in touch with your sadness, then you're also able to get in touch with your happiness and joy. And then when something good comes along, oh my god, extra sweet, extra exciting. So you might feel the lows, but then you'll also feel the highs. And the alternative is to feel nothing, just flat line. Okay, if that's how you want to live, that's fine, but then you're limiting. And life is to be felt, all emotions are to be felt. Now it's what you do with them. You can do something destructive or productive, destructive or constructive. So it's what we do with emotion. If we feel sad and then start drinking and eating unhealthy things and making unhealthy choices, then that's destructive. Or reaching for things or people or substances that is destroying ourselves and our character and our values, then that's causing more problems. But if we reach for love and compassion and solutions that are healthy and balanced, and acceptance, leaving our feelings is one of them, but not stewing on them permanently. Okay, accepting is one of them. Taking healthy, balanced steps towards solving. Having that courage to communicate assertively is a skill. But also trusting that in time we'll see things in different ways, we'll find different solutions, and we'll see a bigger picture and say, okay, it was hard at the time, but now I've managed and overcome. And even the lessons we take from those experiences, and even priorities and values, perhaps we are putting too much emphasis and attention on one thing and we are failing to see the reality of it. So we can adjust. And expectations, we can bring them to a real level rather than utopia level. Okay, so we're okay, this is reality. Reality is this rather than infatuated expectation. So love, 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 love. A big comforting hug. When we feel sad, we just want a hug. Nothing else. No words of advice. Just a hug with someone we feel safe and trust, so that we feel supported and comforted. So take that from me. You'll be okay. The body knows what to do.